Okie dokie, so I'm finally giving the old tow pig some love. It came with these really small tires, front and rear. These fronts are 195 70/15. And the problem is the truck is geared too low on the highway. And also it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance, and also it rides pretty rough. So I can solve all those problems at once by going to some bigger tires. I went with a bigger wheel as well. I went up to 16s in the front. They were 15s. And the reason for that was because there weren't very many options for 15-inch wheels that would fit the rear. So I just did 16s all the way around. So the rear tire is different on this truck. It's smaller. It has different final drive ratios, front and rear. Toyota did that to keep the bed low. But anyway, that's my new front setup. As you can see, it's a lot meatier, more meaty. It was a 195, now it's a 245. So this is gonna make a huge difference in the sugar sand at Holopaw. The front of this truck's actually quite heavy, even unloaded. So those little skinny tires were really plowing in the sand. And even though these things had a lot of life left in them, the tread pattern is not very good off-road. So these are 245 70/16s. And yeah, a lot fatter, a lot taller. And we're gonna see how much rubbing we have and everything like that. It was really hard to find tires for this truck that weren't P rated. I wanted at least XL rated or C rated for load capacity, because I do put a Jimmy, or I put the Pioneer 1000 in the back of this thing. So this is the best tire I could find that was fairly cheap. So this is Maxxis, and it's rated for, where's it at? It's rated for 2,000 pounds per tire. Now, of course, the ratios don't have to be perfect, because this thing has manual unlocking hubs, like every real truck should. So I just got to get it close so that I can shift it in and out of four-wheel drive easily. But the ratios don't need to be perfect. So this thing is right at, wow, it's right at 30 inches. If you look flat across the tire. So that's a 30 now. And the front used to have, knock this down. The front used to have, I think these are like 27s. Yeah, they're supposed to be 27, but they measure just shy of 26. Let's call them 26. Okay, so we went from a 26 to a 30. So that's a 4-inch bigger diameter, AKA 2 inches more ground clearance. That's gonna be a huge upgrade. Also, it's fatter, also more tread. It's gonna look mean. Let's bolt them up. All right, and for the height of the back ones, I forgot to measure off the weight of the truck on it, but it doesn't really matter because this truck's pretty light. We're at 26.5. And the old ones were extremely tiny at the old ones were about 24 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna go inside and do the math and see how close I got the ratios. Of course, I calculated everything using the sizes, but the real life measurements are always a little different. So we'll see how close I got it. And then we're gonna drive it around and check out rubbing. I'm sure I'm gonna have some rubbing in the front, but I can crank up the torsion bars and do some trimming. It'll be good to go. Of course, the one downside of this is that my bed is higher now, which will make it harder to load some stuff in the bed of the truck. But all of my stuff has low gears and big tires, so I think it'll be just fine. This is a real quick and dirty video because no one watches anything about my Japanese trucks because you guys have no culture. But whatever. So what I did over here was I took a razor knife, heated this up, and cut through the step a little bit just to trim it to get more tire clearance. And then there's this guard up here. It's like an airbox guard. I just bent that forward slightly. And I don't think I need to do anything else on the passenger side, which is the right side of this truck. The driver's side was a little more involved because it's close to my AC condenser. So there's this big cast iron bracket here for the AC condenser protection. I had to notch it big time. That's the piece I took out, plus a lot of grinding. That's the other piece over there, in order to get the tire to swing in there. And of course, I trimmed this the same way. I did trim the body a little bit here too, and I trimmed the heads off these bolts. So I need to paint all that, but should be good to go. I'm gonna go test it out again. They had a lot of rubbing just dropping through my little ditch there when steering. So hopefully that makes it drivable, so then I can finish this up later. Just trying to get it in good enough condition where I can go pick up a few more Japanese trucks next week with it.